What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Our Perspectives. This is the 71st episode of the show, and my name is Holden Stefan Roy. We got Liddy Bro Flacco over to the side over there, and we are here with our perspectives on some of the stuff that's been happening over the course of the week. It's been a feisty week, I'll be honest, even though I had a very busy week and wasn't paying a whole lick of attention to what was going on in this busy week, despite the news seeming to be popping. But
Right.
what have you been up to, Flacco? How are things going with you?
Mm, Everything's going good. Life is life.
What have you been up to? What did you do last week?
I don't, and I don't know.
Nah.
Hmm, I got no clue. I can't remember. Genuinely, I went to hang out, and it's all been a blur.
Fair enough.
And I've been getting very little or a lot of sleep, or a lot of a little bit of sleep.
Right. And what I learned when that guy tried to break his streaming record with no sleep is that sleep affects your memory. That's an actual factual thing. But
How
fair
about
enough.
you?
I had what I would call a Liddy Bro Flacco kind of week, where you're outside every day and you don't really see your home very much because I do for work, but like in the rest of the week, I was outside a whole lot. Ended up doing a video shoot. My buddy's mom was like, "You're coming to a fancy dinner," so we went to this nice place and had a good ribeye steak. Um, then Saturday I went to Vermont and I performed in the middle of nowhere with Vermont. Morrisville is the place, but it's pretty. It felt like middle of nowhere. It had like 12. I think this whole place had 7 restaurants in it. That's how many it was. But honestly, good burger. Usually these kinds of towns have good burgers, is what I've come to see over time. And the people were really friendly, and like, cause this place is like a restaurant, there was a pretty sizable crowd there because like there's just all the regulars that were coming to eat at the last call for the kitchen as the show started. And then yeah, Chris came down and we just kind of put on a show for the fine folk in Vermont, and it was nice. I like being with the country folk and the small town vibes, and like it's cool because it's like you can just drive home after, so you can just pop in, pop out, and go back. By the time we got back to Montreal, the party hadn't stopped in Montreal, even though the whole state of Vermont appeared to be closed and there was only 3 gas stations open the whole drive back. I'm like, man, I don't know how y'all live out there, but like, it was a big lesson that like if we were low on gas, it could have been problematic. It could have been like, well, I guess we're staying in Vermont for the night. But
Right.
yeah, no, everything was good. Cruised in and out. Sunday, I was an extra in a music video, and it just feels like I haven't been home. Oh, I did the app with the strangers, and I went down, and it was fucking fun. And all I know is I was there till after midnight because everybody was just having a good time, and more people kept showing up. So it just turned into like, since Wednesday, I don't really think I've been home at all in the evening times. But it's good. Very tired, but good.
Good, tired.
Oh, and I recorded the Bonjour-Hi joint, which is great because the Quebec government just spent $2.5 million on an ad that starts taking shots at the Bonjour-Hi concept, saying that the right way to promote French in Quebec is to say bonjour. Is literally the start of this ad, and I just love how this is just going to get bigger and my province has become with this song. Then I'm going to go piss off Quebecers, argue with them on social media, and promote the fuck out of this shit.
Bonjour. Hi.
It's really like a point of contention to a lot of people, especially if the government's going to spend money on it. It's like wild to think. Anyway, $2.5 million on this ad.
They got money to blow.
Yeah. Chris, I don't know what woman from. And oh, yeah, we met a woman in Vermont who understood. the struggle. But yeah. So I guess that's good for the introduction part of the show. I don't know if you want to get into the topics then.
Yeah, definitely. What are we here for, right?
It's a fact.
Let's get into, I guess, Trump's assassination attempt. I don't know much about this subject, so I guess you lead us on.
Honestly, I was just Googling it because, like, there's no video and there was no ear blood. So it was less of a video-worthy moment. My understanding is the guy was on a golf course or something like that, and he came at the president, but the Secret Service people actually did their job, held him down, and then they caught him. He was coming in with a clear intent to attack Trump. And then it didn't really escalate into anything dramatic while still being a legitimate assassination attempt that took place. So I guess Secret Security did not want to be embarrassed twice in a row on this situation, so they stepped up and did their shit. Chris is saying Secret Service apparently saw a rustle in the bushes, and he had a bunch of tweets going on about his recklessness, what he was about to do. But I don't know. I know that the last time that we talked about this, I asked Bonnie what she thought about it, and she was like, this shit is staged. She was like dead ass convinced that Donald Trump staged the first assassination attempt. And so now I'm sitting there wondering if, because Kamala Harris is doing so much better than that was like the Florida connection, everything be happening in Florida for Linda. But I'm wondering if, because like Kamala Harris is killing it and she has like a very legitimate shot at winning this presidency, if he's really trying to double down on this like attack me narrative, so where he has like people coming at him and he just keeps surviving, and then he wins off of some like rage situation that gets created off these assassination attempts.
I mean, we shall see.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it's fake, but I also wouldn't be surprised to find out that it is.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't. I just know I saw a JD Vance sign in Vermont, and I guess there's a lot of people that are really passionate about it, and I guess a lot of Florida people are too.
Really passionate about what now?
The politics, the whole situation. Like, we ended
Oh,
up getting into a little squabble at the bar over U.S. politics. Well, Chris did. I don't really know how it happened, but this girl apologized for unloading on my friend after, because she just went off on Chris over U.S. politics at the bar. So I imagine there's a lot of people that are really charged up over this.
What did she go off about?
Chris, you can contextualize the conversation, but it was definitely some Trump versus Harris stuff in like the general.
And she was on which side?
If I had to guess before Chris answered, she was pretty anti-Trump and pro.
Right. Work.
And Chris said Kamala was the lesser of two evils, so he just jumped in with an opinion.
She is the lesser of two evils. I mean, that's the way that they're trying to like. I mean, they're trying to paint her like she's some hero, but it's two sides of the same coin. It's the death machine, no matter which way you cut it. Like blue party or red party, it's the same death machine.
And so she responded with that she hates the statement, the idea of it being a lesser of two evils, because Trump is like significantly more evil in her mind. So like Trump has done a lot of bad things, whereas Kamala has done the normal bad things. Is my understanding. Where like I don't know what Kamala Harris has done. I don't know what I don't know anything about her. So I haven't even seen anything. It doesn't seem like there's been a lot of dirt flung at her, as that was like very credible or newsworthy enough to make it up to Canada, because it's got to be really spicy for us to be talking about it. And then I guess if you're a woman and you are not into what happened with abortion rights and Roe v. Wade, you could easily land on the Trump's evil and that's a pretty legitimate argument. I'll take that. So yeah, that's a good point. I'm glad Chris expanded on that. And Chris was just like, but Kamala Harris is an innocent, so she's like the lesser of two evils. And I guess the girl was like, yeah, but no, Trump is just straight up a piece of shit for what he did, and I'd rather have anyone else. And Chris was like, I'm Canadian, which I guess is fair. That's a fair defense. But you don't jump in if you're going to use the I'm Canadian defense at the end. You got to, like, stand your ground a bit. Like, you jumped in, Chris. You jumped in. And then they all went and did drugs, and then they left. They had some serious... Turns out they're... Oh, no? I know they have weed there. It turns out they're all weed growers in Vermont. There's a whole bunch of weed dispensaries and shit, and... Oh. Chris is like, to defend myself, this girl attacked me by interjecting into the conversation we had. But yeah, and then Trump got attacked. So... guess that's the Trump got attacked segment. Y'all can let us know in the comments what you think of the situation. I mean, I don't actually know what to believe anymore. I think it's weird that we're in a world where it's plausible that Trump staged his own assassination attempt twice in a row, and it's like plausible. It's like just as believable as it was authentic and real. And both those things are believable things to me. So I think it's a weird time to be alive with regards to politics, but either way, I'd be shocked if he wins. If the next debate happens and he doesn't look cool at the end of that, it's not gonna help. His fan base is gonna start turning on him at a certain point because he's got to be a certain level of on point for those people to still support him to the level that they do. It relies entirely on his charisma, which does appear to be fading. So maybe being 78 is going to kick in and he'll just be another old man that dips out and Kamala wins. I don't know. Or he wins and then he's still a 78-year-old man, which, I mean, at that age, it's just anybody can go at any time. That's what hanging out with old people is like. It's like a recap of who died since you last saw them in the group and what took them out. And then you just kind of get that update every time you see them. Anyway, I don't have much more on Trump. But did you...
pretty exhausted on the subject.
Did you watch the Emmys?
Nah, I don't be watching none of that shit.
Fair.
I definitely did hear about the winners though, and was happy for the Latin actress on The Bear. The Bear overall winning a bunch of awards is a good look.
Liza Kolan-Zayas for Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series.
Yeah, and then
Well, The Bear
Shogun,
won a whole bunch, eh?
The Bear and Shogun kind of swept the whole thing. So like Shogun won drama series. Shogun won actor in a drama series, actress in a drama series. Then actor in a comedy series went to The Bear. Supporting actress in a comedy series. Supporting actor in a comedy series. That all went to The Bear.
I will say, it is nice to see Baby Reindeer getting a few wins in there. That was a pretty interesting show.
Yep. Baby Reindeer got writing.
It got Best Supporting Actress, and and then it got Best Writing for a limited series. So it basically it swept the limited series version of the Emmys.
Yeah, The Bear swept comedy series and Shogun swept drama series.
That's fair. Did you anybody out there watch the Emmys? Do you think the Emmys still matter for much? Do you think award shows have the same?
No, it definitely matters. Definitely matters to people that are doing, because the Emmys is kind of like the TV of Hollywood,
Right.
where like the Oscars is really just movies. I mean, yeah, the Oscars is just movies. Um,
I remember hearing that there was a lot of Emmys.
uh, I mean, and Emmys is a part of the EGOT thing. So like forever until as long as people are performing, EGOTs are gonna matter. And that's Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
Right.
So yeah, the Emmys still matter.
There's a lot of Emmys. So there's daytime Emmy Awards, there's primetime
Hmm.
Emmy Awards, there's international Emmy Awards. These are all just separate Emmy Awards that are given out different Emmys.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was hearing. One of the podcasts I was listening to, that the main difference between an Emmy and a Oscar is that it's like there's way less Oscars that come out, so you have a significantly higher chance of winning an Emmy if you were going for it. Not to say that it's like less of an accomplishment, just that there's more categories for it in the way that like they just make up new categories on Amazon for like authors so that they can feel special being in the top 10 of some obscure shit, like top 10 books on butterflies or whatever. Like it gets really niche. So like that was the main thing I heard about the Emmys is they just got a lot of categories so that a win there is almost devalued a bit when compared against the other ones in the EGOT that are really hard to get.
I mean, I think that the EGOT itself is like a, hey, you have to be top of your field in all these different fields.
Right.
So it makes it hard as it, so if one of them is easy, quote unquote, um, fair game.
Fair enough. Yeah. Did you see the Shannon Sharpe video?
I saw a clip um of what it was. It was just like the camera facing upward at the
Yeah.
ceiling, and you could just hear uh whatever. Um,
Like you could see a silhouette of somebody, and then
Super
like he put the
weird.
phone down.
People that do things for the internet are just like, bro, what's going on in your head? To me, that shit is so weird. Like, yo, you really let the internet get to you like that, bro? Go outside, touch grass, my guy. Like, get off the internet.
You think he went
Get
on it
out
on
your
purpose?
chauffeur's car. Yeah, I think so.
He was trying to claim like he's just an old man that doesn't know how to use his phone right.
You don't go fucking live on a stage. That shit is not, not the way it works.
Yeah.
You go
But
live on purpose.
he did get offered $100,000 to do a porno after this.
Mm-mm. That's not even worth it.
I don't know if he's gonna do it, but it is definitely gonna encourage
I'd
this
be
type of.
insulted if I was him. Like, did he pull a janky move? Yes. Is $100,000 enough for him to do porn? It's like, what? No. Like,
If he
what?
showed any interest in doing porn at this point, he could probably get a couple $1 million.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. That's why I'm like, what? What the fuck is 100,000? Um, but more than that, I think that it's again like a response to like accusations of him being gay on the internet and
Mm.
pictures of him and his stylist Um, where it's just like, bro, why are you being weird? Like,
Do
if
you
you're gay,
think
just
that,
be gay. If
like,
you're not, then
you
don't
think
do this.
he's doing this as a way to prove how straight he is on some, like,
Yes,
fragile ego shit?
absolutely.
I mean, that is a pretty extreme length to go.
It is extremely.
And he's a
It's just
grown
like,
ass man.
what? Right. It's
Like,
like,
he's in
bro,
his, like,
you're a
what, 40s
grown
or
ass man.
50s or something?
No, definitely in his 50s.
Yeah, he's a really grown ass man.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like,
no.
bro, get it together, bro. Get a grip.
Yeah.
Who cares what the people saying? And if it's not true, then like, okay. It's kind of like Drake with the whole like, I swear I'm not a pedophile. If I was a pedophile, I would not have gotten arrested. Where it's just like, you're not making a good defense for yourself right now. You better off just not even, just ignore it. Because bringing it up is making you sound worse.
Yeah, kind of like that. I didn't know
Addressing
people
it
thought
is
he was
making it
gay,
worse.
but yeah, you kind of just have to deal with the limelight if you want to be in that life. And unlike maybe some of them young female artists that are mad at their fans and shit because they got famous overnight and don't know how to handle it, I feel like Shannon Sharpe or whatever, he really like went out of his way to
He's
be
an
as famous
athlete.
as possible this year.
He's a former athlete. So he's a former professional athlete. So like all those guys usually like come baked in with like a fandom, like from when they played.
But like he's sought it this year. He's tried to create moments.
Mhm.
He's hunted for the kind of fame and scrutiny that comes with like people questioning everything about you. I'm not necessarily justifying the behavior of shitty people on the internet. But if there was the type of person to be like, well, isn't this the job you signed up for? It is most definitely him. He is one of the few people in the world who you could say most definitely asked for it. They all but begged for it in the fact that they chose to start the year off with Cat Williams and make it spicy. Like they just everything about his brand to me feels very attention grabby in the last year. Not in a bad way. I think he's actually done quite an amazing job at establishing his brand. It's just you can't be that sensitive when they start coming at you after.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. Uh, we don't know though. So
yeah, no. I mean, we're just giving our
maybe
perspectives.
maybe he really did go live by mistake. Even though from every time I've tried to go live, there's many like it's multiple steps. It's not just like a oops, I pressed the live button by mistake. It's like press the
There's
live
like
button and
two or
still
three.
it asks you to like put a title to the shit. You
You
know
could
what I
skip
mean?
that step though. Like that step, you don't actually need to put anything there. So like it is having done some tech support in my life. There is the percentage of possibility that he really just hit doot 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 okay whatever and put his phone down thinking he locked it or some shit. I just don't believe a guy with a podcast like him is that bad at it. Like I just don't believe in his current role in life he's that terrible at using Instagram. That to me would be a little bit surprising. Could be wrong. He could just have a whole lot of people around him doing everything for him, and then he really is just grandpa on the phone.
Maybe.
Nah, I don't know. I just feel like a podcaster. If you don't become a podcaster if you hate social media, for the most part. Um. Anyway,
I don't think so either.
so yeah, this whole Jill Stein thing. Um. I paid zero attention because while you care about third party U.S. candidates, I do not. I do not care much for third party. Not enough to watch a full interview on them.
Yeah. I mean, that's how most people feel, period, across the board. But interestingly enough, a majority of the talking points that she brings up are like talking points that the Democratic Party ends up parroting. So it's like, if nothing else, you could just watch them because this is the future of what the Democratic Party will end up saying years from now. You know, um, it was really good. It was a really good interview. It was really good in a bad way though. Like Angela Rye was like perpetually interrupting and trying to overspeak and just being generally disrespectful in her candor throughout the whole interview. And the people see through that and saw through that. Um, my wife mentioned it like maybe like 5, 10 minutes into the interview. She was like, "Why does she keep cutting her off?"
Mm.
Um,
Especially when you got a presidential candidate on your shit, like you should be like, like there's certain people you interview where you should know that you gotta be on your best behavior for this one, and like it's not the normal, it's not the
right,
regular syndicated episode of the Breakfast Club.
right.
But
Um, but what it did end up like getting was like a lot of support. Like Joe Stein was up there giving logical answers to things and talking about the Democratic Party like the death machine that they are. And Angela Rye is paid to be a Democratic Party shill and snake oil salesman. And it came out in the interview, and everybody online kind of like saw through it. Um, my timeline's been filled on Twitter with nothing but like third party uh, support type of tweets ever since that interview. Um, it's refreshing to see that other people see the value in a third party and see that like, yo, this is what the Democratic Party does. They like try to shut down the Green Party, third party, which is like the same thing they're accusing the Republican Party of, right? Voter suppression. Like, you're trying to suppress the knowledge of a group to ensure votes for yourself and your party.
just
That is
to just to be clear, what you're saying is that via their influence of the media, they leverage their people to block the opportunities of people like Jill Stein from being able to speak freely to the masses.
right. And if not, they try to, I mean, all of it is painted as a very like, what are you doing? Don't do this. You're throwing away your vote. You're you're dividing the Democratic Party vote. It's just all this stuff that it's divisive and it's a form of control, you know, where it's just like you're trying to control me by leading me to this, like, nah, it could never be. You can never have it. It can never happen. And it's always all these same arguments. I've had him a million times. So that's why I already know what they're like, right? People are going to be like, oh, even if you were to get a third party nominee president, there'd be nobody in the House of Representatives or Congress that is third party to align with them and vote with them for their interests. And it's just like, yo, if if
Doesn't that sound
if
good
we
though?
if we continually, yeah, it does actually. If we continually like do everything from a scared, like that is operating from a place of fear. And I know that because at my company, we did that for a long time, right? We worked in a business of like essentially, we work in a business of providing bodies. And for a lot of years there, we would keep people around who maybe weren't necessarily the best people that we had, but because they were reliable and always there, we would kind of like still use them. And it was because we were always operating from a place of fear of like not having enough bodies for a job. And then we stopped operating like that. We stopped operating from a place of fear and we just actively, proactively went about fortifying our ranks with new hires and bringing in more and more and more and more new people till we find the right fits. And then we found a bunch of new people that replace all that trash. And it's just really refreshing. You know what I mean? And it's just like, yo, you don't have to operate from a place of fear. You could just take action to not have to be in that place of fear at all times. But the way that the Democratic Party works is with that fear. It's constantly them attacking the third party nominees. And it's just like, yo, bro, eventually it gets very obvious. The same way that people voted for Donald Trump before, it was from a place of like being tired of the Democratic Party that we got from Obama's presidency. And white people were like, tired of this shit. Tired of this. Like, nothing. I got signed out of my account.
Which account? Anyway.
Uh, the perspectives. That's why I'm like, we're on perspectives right now. Why would I get signed out? Um, nah, but so the point is that uh, Jill and the third party looked really good up there. Um, Angela Rye looked really, really bad. Uh, the Democratic Party probably is not accounting for right now all the people that are probably going to end up voting third party this election. And I think it might be
So
more people than any previous elections. I think this video, this interview was like a really great form of promotion for the third party. The Green Party specifically, because that's who Joe Stein represents. But like, um, it definitely like made some people like realize like, man, the Democratic Party is doing a lot to try to like stifle this woman's voice. You know, that's
right.
definitely the way that it came off. Like it came off like Angela Rye was like the guard dog for the DNC.
So with like the increase in votes, do you think there's anywhere where they're centralized enough to like win a state? Like
Mm,
I can't see that happening in New York. But like is there some like middle America Democrat state that's small enough that she could get a big enough base to be impactful?
I mean, I think it's more like an East Coast state, like something, one of the smaller Rhode Island, Delaware, Vermont, something like that, you know?
Right. Yeah, because I mean, don't get me wrong. Getting a lot of votes in the popular vote is going to have an impact, and I don't think a lot of people fully appreciate that there is still points for popular votes when trying to legitimize your efforts as a third party, and it could be a
Yeah, I
three-party
think
election next time if enough
exactly.
people
So
vote
like
for her.
the real first step, right? The first step in all this is getting enough of the popular vote so that the Green Party is included on the debate stage in the 2028 presidential election.
Right.
That's the first step. All this stuff takes time. Like, none of it is like this fantasy of like, oh, tomorrow we wake up and we live in a world of, nah, that's not the way it works. But yeah, really all that we need is for her to have a certain percentage, I forget what it is, of the vote. I think it's like
I think it's 5 or something
5%, something
of the
like that,
popular vote,
the
like,
popular vote, right?
which
Um,
it's actually a sizable number of votes when you're talking about
very.
like millions of people have to vote for you to
Hmm.
be a contender. But it's also one of those times where the argument of splitting the vote is silly. I think, because I don't think it's, I don't know, maybe in a swing state it could make a difference, but like I think in general it is just better for America to have options. Like, sometimes having options in Canada is cool, and it actually does create political change because there is a third voice that gets taken seriously that makes the other two parties that usually win have to behave better. I don't think people understand what it is to have real opposition to the main parties and how that impacts the people better, because your concerns get brought up by all the minorities all the time. That's all they do is whine about what the people need, just different people. So it gives more of you representation if there's more parties involved in politics. Maybe not to a European extent, but I don't know enough about that topic.
um, I hope that a third party opens us up to even more parties and a rank poll election style, the way we have in New York City. I really enjoyed that. I lost. Eric Adams is not the mayor that I wanted. Um, a lot of this stuff is stuff that like I'm very well aware of, but everybody else is not. And getting people educated early and informed and interested in the whole system of it is hard to make happen. But I believe that it's possible. I think that people are more interested in politics than ever. I think that people will eventually see the light of day with all this stuff because people are really just tired of like the system of how things work.
Also, people need to make sure that even if they don't actually end up voting, that they should make sure they're registered to vote, because even if you don't vote, when they talk about all their stats, they always use registered voters as a stat. So for certain communities where maybe not everyone's a registered voter yet, if there's a lot more people registering to vote, it sends a signal to everybody that will be taken into account next time, especially as AI gets more and more involved in how they're going to play out electoral campaigns, meaning they're going to have really specific to your community ads soon. They're going to know exactly what your neighborhood cares about. Even they're just going to know it. But we'll see how that plays out. In the meantime, if you register to vote, which my understanding is you can still do now, but if you wait a month, you're not possibly going to be able to vote. And depending on where you live, especially if you're not in the right riding or whatever, like if you're in a Democrat place and you're a Republican or whatever, you should just make sure it's all good, because I hear there might be funny business or people trying to do legal forms of voter suppression. So one of the common
Mm-hmm.
tactics is to fuck around with people's voter registration. So there's like 100 websites that will help you with that process. Just Google how to do it in your state, but make sure you're registered, even if you registered in the past. Because I watch that John Oliver show every week, and he's constantly giving examples of people being unregistered out of nowhere without notice. So it's on
Yeah,
you a bit to make
we
sure
stay
about
up
that.
on our shit, and if you stay active with your shit, all your mail should get to you, and you should be aware of that. But definitely, you're right. People should look into all that. In other news, Kendrick Lamar dropped a new song.
Yeah,
Um,
he did. Did you listen? Did you like it?
yeah, I listened to it. I didn't like it. I don't even like the idea of like I'm here to like stop partying, stop the party, like no more parties. Like what? Like, fam, you got to go somewhere with that energy. That is not the energy that I want at all. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, I didn't really like it. I was not like blown away in any way. But it's not for me. I think that it's for the people who've been cheering for him all this time. Um,
it was very sanctimonious. It was like you gotta understand this. If you haven't heard it, I don't necessarily think you should because I think it's a pretty mid song. It has some like really repetitive, jazzy, easy listening sound music. It honestly is a bit elevator music-y in the beat, which is probably really deliberate for what he's trying to do.
Very
So,
deliberate. Yeah.
and I'm not
So
mad at
what
it.
part?
It is execution. It's just I'm not really a jazz beat type of person in general. Those are like my least favorite songs most of the time. So like didn't have and then he just raps so like preachy like you're at church, which again, super deliberate. He's giving you his moral like lessons and shit. And the whole song is like criticizing people who've like leveraged the party side of hip hop to become the successes that they are, and he's tired of that shit. So it's really just more of that, like,
I'm tired of what he does and people leveraging consciousness for
yeah, you know who else
sales.
is tired of that, Flacco? The guy who responded to the song. Lecrae is tired of that shit too, because he brings up Lecrae at the end of the song, wondering what Lecrae would do, kind of like commenting on how as a Christian rapper he must be like close with God and motivated by different things, etc. And he's like saying instead of Drake, maybe we should listen to Lecrae. And Lecrae was like, honestly, like I interpreted Lecrae's response as, bro, don't bring me into this shit because of your ego. That's not what Lecrae would do. And he's like, I didn't even want to respond to this, but I felt I needed to on some personal shit, and then really showed Kendrick what rapping for God is like. And I thought that was the right Lecrae response. So Lecrae, what he chose to do was to kind of politely give Kendrick a love tap, saying, "Don't bring me into your narcissism, please. I'm actually rapping for Jesus." And I respect that. I got a lot of love for Lecrae. He's been one of the most legitimate Christian artists I've ever seen. As in, he doesn't actually judge his peers, which is beautiful because you don't get that a lot in the Christian community. But yeah, that was my first thought when I heard that from like Kendrick's whole verse. That was the only line that stuck out to me, is that somebody said Lecrae's name in a song in a big way, and then Lecrae responded a few days later. I was like, that's my favorite part of this beef, is that Lecrae like answered Kendrick, and he did not seem that impressed. He was definitely not like, yeah, Kendrick, we're on the same team here. Definitely not that
Right.
energy. But yo, he's
Work.
actually good. Like, all love to Lecrae. He's a very talented artist. I could see why most people will not listen to him, because he definitely turned that into a God song right quick. But that's what he does, and that's why his fans fuck with him, because as far as being a Christian artist goes, he does it good. He really does.
Work. I'm
Super.
unfamiliar with what he does.
He like kind of just makes modern sound. He was the first Christian artist to make good
You know what?
pop sounding Christian music.
I think that's a lie. I think I had one Lecrae song that I came across years ago that was like pretty turned up, and I was like, "Oh shit, look at
Like
this!
he was
Like
like
this."
in the studio with all the party rappers. Like he actually made a lot of party music, and like he never judged his peers. He just went amongst them to be with them, and so he has a lot of songs with secular rappers, and he isn't too like hoity-toity about that shit. It's not like how No Malice just jumped out of clips and was like, "Psst, can't work together no more." It's like Lecrae's the only Christian rapper, especially at the time, because I was kind of tapped into the whole Christian rap world for a minute. At the time, he was like the only guy to do that. He was the only guy to like be like, "I'm good." Him and Grits. Grits did a few pop shits, but like they didn't really have a huge career like Lecrae did. Lecrae was like the one that kind of blew open the whole you can be successful as a Christian artist and not be a fucking dork about it angle. That's his like claim to fame in that world.
Or
It was like
I mean,
2008ish.
shots to Lecrae.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then we'll see who responds next with Kendrick and Drake.
right. Um, Lil Wayne dropped a video about the Super Bowl. Did you see the video?
Yeah. He didn't
Yeah,
look very happy.
he didn't look very happy. I thought
But it
he
was so
looked like. I feel like he was high, like zooted out of his mind high because his thoughts didn't seem very coherent. Um,
I mean, I think I saw one of your statuses, something about the WWE video. So I watched the WWE video, and that put me down a rabbit hole of Lil Wayne modern performances. And I don't know if a lot of the people who like are rooting for Lil Wayne for the Super Bowl have seen the inconsistency of a Lil Wayne show. It will either sound perfect, crisp, and clean, or it will not. And it almost seems like you can never know which version of Lil Wayne is going to pull up that night. Maybe because he likes drugs, which is something he raps a lot about. And this is not meant to disrespect him. It's just if you were going to pick an artist for the Super Bowl and it was your responsibility to guarantee possibly the tightest 12 minutes of music that gets delivered on TV a year, I don't know if you'd pick Wayne.
yeah, nah, I wouldn't. I definitely could see where um uh he just isn't the guy to go with. I mean, from the like constant pussy music to fucking, you know, just being all over the place and being a bad performer. Um, but also, yeah, it was definitely still a shady move from Jay-Z. Like two things can be true at the same time. Is the status that I believe that you're referring to that I
Yeah,
spoke about that I
I
made.
did get. I watched a lot of Lil Wayne rapping after that status.
Or
But
shout to Lil Wayne, great
yeah,
rapper
no.
though.
When he's on point though, oh my god, that show looks like
Hmm.
it's worth money. But I think Kendrick will do what the Super Bowl wants more, which is like
Absolutely.
the fucking 500 person performance with like the whole choreographing and everything. Because, believe it or not, that is what Kendrick did for the Mr. Morale tour. It was like a 90-minute theatrical performance. It wasn't just like a regular tour. It wasn't just him in the middle there. He did a whole bunch of shit. I didn't watch all of it, but I saw some of the theatrics from it. So you want somebody that's already fucking with that type of shit because then they already know how to combine it and execute it to create a narrative. On the other hand, I think it's funny that people are trying to debate who chose it and that somehow it's being put on the mayor of New Orleans that like it's their fault for not picking Wayne. Of which I'm like, if you are the mayor, can you pick Lil Wayne? Is that a choice you can make? The guy still reps a set publicly. I don't know if you're allowed to do that if you're the mayor, an elected official. Sincere, ignorant question on that front. I don't know if you're allowed to
I
do
mean,
that.
I find it disingenuous that people are like saying like, oh, the New Orleans decided. And it's like New Orleans didn't decide. The mayor of New Orleans decided. And notoriously, New York City has never respected its mayors. I don't see why any other city that we are from that would produce rappers would care what decision the mayor came to outside of not giving the local act the spot. Like it's one of those things where it's just like, what are you upset about? Like, let's be real here. That's not the people of New Orleans that made that decision. It was the mayor that made the decision, along with made the final decision. After I'm sure being pushed and nudged into the whole narrow hallway of like Kendrick, you know, like not even another decision. It's just like, no, you should pick Kendrick. This is what we all want. We think it'll be good for the city. There's a lot of ways that we can, you know, and yeah, I see it happening like that more than I see it happening like where like the people of New Orleans got together and decided we collectively don't want Lil Wayne. Like what? That doesn't make sense.
Also, do the Super Bowl normally have people that like in their host city? Like, is that a normal thing? Because it just always seems fucking random. Like, like it's almost like a lifetime achievement award of sorts that they give to people. You get to do the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, it's never been there's no like outside of I believe Dr. Dre doing LA,
Yeah,
Compton.
that was part of the advertising for it. Which, okay, but like maybe they're trying to make it a precedent. But if only artists can perform from like the city they're from, that means that nobody from my city could ever perform at the Super Bowl, no matter how significant they become
Mhm.
in a world where all of a sudden Montreal blows up with the next big thing.
I mean, you guys first would have to get a professional NFL franchise.
Why can't if Drake can perform at the Super Bowl and Toronto don't got one, then a Montrealer could, in theory, if we grew a Drake, also perform at the Super Bowl. But if it's got to be a home team, y'all can't have Drake neither, because Toronto don't got no fucking NFL team.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the
Or,
other part of this controversy. Everybody keeps on questioning, because I think Rory or Maul, one of those podcasters, was like saying how Drake has turned down the Super Bowl multiple times.
believe it. I feel like I said, it's like if I was Drake, doing the Super Bowl is like an admission that my career has moved into more of its has-been era, because people don't do the Super Bowl in the height of their careers. They do it after the height of their careers, when they're like, even Beyonce's, and like that wasn't 2008 she did it. It was like way later on.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's like Drake is still in the prime. Maybe he's leaving the prime. You could say maybe he's showing a couple of injuries a younger him wouldn't have shown. But he's still not at the point where if I was him, I'd want to do the Super Bowl. I'd want to give it like 5, 10 years maybe. And then, okay, now I'm in my 40s. I've had all of my career. At that point, it's Super Bowl time. And apparently, Drake is doing FIFA. Is that real?
That's what Chris was saying in the comments.
Yeah. Drake doing FIFA. Oh, there's talks of it. Oh, there's okay. So apparently Canada's maybe gonna host the World Cup. What? That's a whole other conversation. But if Toronto hosts the World Cup in 2026, then Drake will more than likely perform at the World Cup. I could absolutely see that happening.
I could
Which,
absolutely see that happen.
believe it or not, is a much bigger deal than the Super Bowl.
Way bigger.
Like
Way bigger.
just It would honestly make Kendrick at the Super Bowl look not cool by comparison, because I don't actually think there's a big chance of Kendrick doing the World Cup quite that easily. Also, Canada's hosting? That's cool. I'd go to Toronto for that. So yeah, Chris, it turns out you weren't dreaming. You were not so fucking wrong, even if it's just rumors and speculation at this point.
Right. It's still rumor and speculation.
Yeah. Poor Jake. Not poor Jake, poor Kendrick. I think Kendrick's performance will be fine. It's gonna be like perfect for the audience that want to watch the Super Bowl. He's gonna give them what they want. And then people are gonna criticize it and love it, but it's probably gonna get well viewed, and that's gonna give the NFL and Jay-Z what they want. And yeah, I don't know.
I can't wait. I can't wait for Toronto to host FIFA.
I can't wait for that either. I don't know if that's fully locked in. I'm seeing it on Reddit, but we'll see how it goes. I hope that happens. And I don't know anything about Canelo beats Berlanga.
Good fight. Went 12 rounds. Berlanga, Puerto Rican, out of Brooklyn, New York. Young cat. Really big. Like, he was bigger than Canelo, had more reach than him. He, was younger. But he lost. Canelo put on a clinic. Canelo had a fantastic performance, maybe one of his best performances in years. And it was all in front of a star-studded crowd with Demi Moore, Harrison Ford, all sorts of people sitting in the front row. It's really good. I enjoyed it.
So apparently, FIFA will be split between Canada, Mexico, and the States in 2026. So we're collectively hosting it, and only 6 games will be played in Toronto. So we could both go to World Cup games, I bet, if we wanted to.
Biggest of what?
What?
Nothing. I was doing the Drake and J. Cole song. Biggest of what? Biggest of the Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah, man. I'm just saying they could end up both performing at FIFA. No, it's possible. I don't know where FIFA is going to take place, but that'd be really cool actually if people could start like making FIFA kind of styled Super Bowl performances. I would be way more interested in the World Cup if that happened. Because I am mildly interested at best right now. But people care more about the World Cup than the Olympics at this point, which is super interesting to me that football has come that far that we should call it football and not even soccer, because there's just so many fans of that shit. Yeah.
Football.
And then, yeah, so the last thing we have is the rest in pieces to all the people. Last week we missed James Earl Jones, who had unfortunately passed away right before we started. And then Frankie Beverly and Tito Jackson have also passed away. And yeah,
that comes in threes. Rest in peace, James Earl Jones. Rest in peace, Frankie Beverly. Rest in peace, Tito Jackson. You will be missed.
Yeah.
Each one with great contributions.
Yeah. I guess Mufasa's in the sky now. But at this point, it's time for cinematic perspectives, where we're gonna watch the trailers and let you know what we think of each of them. So I'm gonna get that loaded up, hit that share sound, and it should go right to YouTube, and we'll get started with our first one.
How did you get this number?
I was told that if I ever needed help, to call you.
You're a man who can fix things. I didn't know people like you really existed.
They don't. There's nobody can do what I do.
Who are you?
I'm here to take care of your problem. Who called you?
We clearly have a situation here. The only course of action is for you to work together to clean up this mess.
No. It's not how I work. This is not how I work. Oh. It's a different thing now. It's gonna be a long night. Where'd you get the drugs?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Where did you get the drugs? Talk. There's an art to this you may not realize. But the art to saying the same thing over and over. Let's see your technique. I showed you my luggage card trick. Admit it. Yeah, it's cool. Okay, fine. It was very cool.
Where'd you get the drugs?
How long have you been partners? You got like the same clothes, kind of talk the same.
So,
Like basically the same guy.
We're not partners.
there are people out there who, if they suspected I knew what he knew and I knew what he knew, they would have us all killed immediately.
What?
Stop him!
So you secret partners?
We're not secret partners.
Funny. I like how they made Ben Affleck and Brad Pitt secret partners. I don't think I've seen a movie with exactly that premise before, and that looks fun.
Did you say Ben Affleck and Brad Pitt?
Oh my, I did say Ben Affleck. That is not what I meant to say. I meant
George Clooney.
that's what I meant to say. Did not come out correctly. Ben Affleck, not the right one.
Not the right one. Yeah.
Oh.
Not big enough for a star.
No.
Yeah, nah. So would you watch it?
I think I'd like watch it when I have like some chill, nothing evening where maybe I want to play video games at the same time. But if I saw that on streaming and it popped up in my face, I might watch it on an impulse. It does look entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, I'd watch it. I'm gonna watch it. I have Apple. Apple usually puts out quality content. Their movies aren't as good as their shows, but it's Brad Pitt and George Clooney. Pretty sure it'll be entertaining, well done, good script, good director. These aren't the guys that get like that was questionable, script. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it.
Yeah, maybe when I get Apple TV in the future. In the meantime, I'm not.
Once you become a full Apple guy, my guy, let me tell you something. Whole world gonna be different for you.
Yeah, just gotta wait a couple weeks now. Just a couple more weeks.
You know what I like most about you, Oz? You are who you are, and you couldn't change if you tried.
It's fine. I'm an acquired taste. Everything you heard about me is true. I hustle. Do what it takes.
Oh, you're so close now to having everything you ever wanted.
So much was taken from me. So I'm gonna take from them now.
band together, forced everyone to their knees.
There's a storm coming. The start of a whole new empire. They're gonna tell stories about us. I'm gonna be the new kingpin of Gotham.
That's like set in the Gotham universe, right? Like the show Gotham?
No,
Or is that its own standalone thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think that all, right, it's DC, so like all their stuff lives in the DC universe. Now it's a question of whether or not it's on the same planet as the Batman versus Superman movies or some shit like that.
It made me think of the Gotham TV show, and I really liked the Gotham TV show. I watched like 3 seasons of it before I forgot about it. But
yeah, it
just the
was
way
really
it's
good
shot,
at first.
the style of it, it kind of has that feel, energy. I don't know if I go out of my way to watch this, but if
Actually,
the
now that you bring
reviews,
it up, I feel like that might be the Penguin from that show.
right, and then like it could
I
be.
can't remember.
And then that's the thing. It's like as it was a while ago. But if the reviews come back like this is some fire shit, and I start hearing people talk about it and sharing it all over Facebook like it's some success, then I'd be inclined to watch it because I really like Gotham.
Work. Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna watch it for sure. I always watch all the comic book stuff, whether it's Marvel, DC, Image, or some other publishing house like Dark Horse or Valiant. Anything comic related, I'm like super in for. And I watched Gotham, and yeah, I get what you're saying, the comparison. This looks a little bit even more mature, I guess, or a little bit like executed a little bit better. Colin Farrell's a legit actor, right? So like, yeah, I think that it said from the director of the Batman. So that was the last movie that came out with the Twilight actor as Batman. And that movie was pretty good. It was dark. It was gritty. Um, yeah, I'm gonna watch.
Right. Get on with the next trailer.
Rachel, you know you can't be doing that out here.
Shit's legal now. You know, it's my bitch-ass sister. She's trying to tell me the smoke is killing our dad.
How is Vinny?
Oh, he's fucking dying, but not because of my weed smoke.
I understand what a stressful situation it is. It's very nice that you're all here at a time like this. We all want your father to transition as peaceful as possible.
It's nice that it's us. This is the way it should be, the way he would want it.
The plan is we all will take turns watching over. You know she hasn't done a shift, right?
Oh, yeah.
You don't find that strange? Once we get here, she steps back from all responsibility?
Your life is perfect. You got your kid. Probably gonna pop out a bunch more.
No, nothing pops. There's no popping. That's not the way it is.
Okay, whatever. It looks like popping to me.
Katie started drinking a few hours ago.
How do you like the food?
Thank you for the dinner.
Watch her not even wash her dishes.
Look, they may act like they got it, but they don't. Okay?
What the fuck are you doing? Stop it!
Be a friend of mine. Stay away a while.
You will need each other. It's good that there are 3 of you.
You know, different types of people. But yes, my dad too, over there, dying. It is my dad, okay?
working on his obituary and was hoping that you could help with it.
Married a couple of crazy bitches, raised a few crazy bitches.
Be a friend to me and let the silence ring.
White girls really do be squeaking like that when they get together in numbers. What do you
It
think?
looks really good to me. I've been seeing ads for this for a while. That's Elizabeth Olsen, aka Scarlet Witch from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Um, Natasha Lyonne, I believe, is the name of the redhead who's from American Pie. And then Carrie Coon is what I guess is the oldest sister. All of them do great work. So like, this looks like it's gonna be a good drama, a good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Good story.
It looks like it's
family.
It looks like it's gonna be
functional
what you
family shit,
expect, but with new twists that are gonna still hit you in the heart.
Right
and
in
then
the feels.
When they overcome whatever they overcome, you're still gonna get sucker punched in the feels. But yeah, I don't know. I think I might watch it if like it pops up in my face and I'm like able to sit there, because it doesn't look like the kind of movie you want to watch in chunks. Gotta let that like momentum build. So I'll have to wait till it's like a night where I'm actually sitting there for a few hours watching a movie. But it does
Definitely something that I'll like watch as a part of like a full night of like dramatic indie flick movies. Like make a whole night of it. Probably like along with the following movie, with the following trailer.
Getting it going.
Hey, man. I know you. What's your name?
Edward?
Do you work for Facebook?
No, but I get this a lot.
Oh, hey, neighbor. People can be cruel, I imagine.
All unhappiness in life comes from not accepting what is. You know who taught me that? Lady Gaga.
This drug seems to have the potential to actually heal you. The implications are life-changing.
My face is falling off in clumps.
I'm sure it only looks like clumps to you.
Perhaps any potential risk is worth the reward?
Look at this! Look at this piece of man candy!
Can I believe my eyes? Edward! Who don't remember me? Oswald.
Hi. That guy's amazing.
What do you know about him? Who is he? He's leading a double life.
I'm getting this feeling I've messed things up for you.
You know how we idealize people when we're in love?
So I'm the idolized version of Oswald?
It's kind of brilliant seeing you who looks like you, but you're not yourself.
Let's just all start being honest with ourselves, old friends.
Wait, so like the one guy's face falls off and then the other guy makes a comedy career based on the first guy's face? Rough.
It looks like that guy just gets popular having the same affliction that he had.
Okay, right, yeah.
And he becomes jealous because he's like, wait, why didn't I have that when I had that face? And it's like, well, because you weren't happy with it. This guy seems happy with your face.
Fair. Yeah, that looks like it would be an interesting movie.
Yeah, seems like a movie that I watched with the movie that we saw the trailer with of before.
Right.
You know, like this is my indie flick night.
Right.
Right.
And yeah.
Sebastian Stan looked like he probably, killed that a little something. That's definitely what the reviews are saying in it too. I believe it.
Right.
And I'll probably add this movie to the whole night, and it'll be my indie night of
Help me
movies.
out. Yeah.
Winner at Sundance.
It's mine. These are my kids.
Eva and Violeta.
You know that I've been saving? See if I can buy you guys plane tickets next year.
Did you just move here? We live in California with our mom.
High five. If not,
You're drunk.
get in the car.
Stop.
Hey! Wow. Wow. Tan grande ya.
Does it feel weird to be back? It's weird seeing my dad with another kid.
Wow. How's school?
We graduated already.
That's amazing. Y tú, Eva? You guys did okay without me.
You're just a nobody.
You think you're better than me? You guys want to stay?
Man, it must be sucked to be a single dad that doesn't get to see your kids.
Yeah, it must be rough. It must be rough for the kids if you move on and end up having another kid, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's always weird. Like when there's like a giant age gap at like starting a whole new family, especially one that you're present for.
Like everything that they were depicting in that movie, I'm like, ooh, yeah, this is, it's good because it's, very realistic. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people's life story.
Yeah.
A lot of people be able to like see themselves in that movie, and that's kind of the point of movies.
It's good.
Or one of the points.
Yeah, this one looks like it looks well written, and I'm sure it'll be really feel good. I don't know if I'd go out of my way to watch it, but maybe Bonnie wants to, and so I watch it. I'm less interested in the parenting version of it all.
I'm watching it with my indie night of the other two movies.
Right. Which makes sense. Yeah, that's a good set of movies. So yeah, I guess that's it then. What are you up to in the following week?
I'm gonna get in the studio with Lady Bro Figaro and get cooking on another side project that we've been working on silently and slowly. But now we shall hit the pedal to the metal. Try to knock out 3 or 4 songs. Make it feel like something. 3 or 4 songs is usually like my go-to. Like, this makes it real, you know. 3 or 4 songs of something. It's like, okay, now we're on to something, right?
Right.
So yeah, we're gonna get in the studio, maybe knock out 3 or 4 songs, and yeah, get cooking on some stuff while we're in the middle of starting to drop volume 4. And so the next week I got to like start moving the chains more on all that. I gotta make sure that I'm getting my mixes back from the engineer so that we can go to press with the album so they can it could come out before the new year. So it comes out in 2024. So like I gotta do that this week. I gotta get in the studio this week. Yeah. Busy. What about you? What you doing, Holden?
I have a lot of filming this week. I'm spending like all day Wednesday doing back-to-back shoots at this spot in Laval, which, well 3 spots. So it'll be a lot of food that I probably won't eat a lot of because that's all the day's going to be is filming and eating. And then Thursday or Friday will be another shoot. And so that's always fun. Then there's possibly another one. I'm waiting on a big deal to close, which will just instantly add more shoots to my life. And I'm going to perform at a weed store next to a beach. You can't go on the beach, but it looks pretty still. But that'll be on Saturday at Golden Star Oka up in Ganasatake. If you're free and you want to drive and get some weed.
Say that 5 times fast.
Ganasatake. You learn how. You hang out with indigenous people and you get told right away what the colonizer names are. And then technically the weed stores are not in the city of Oka, which is what everyone calls. They're on the territory that is Ganasatake. So if you're gonna, perform there, you should probably have the respect of using the name that the local people want you to use, especially if you're white as fuck coming to rap at a weed store in not Canada, because technically that's not Canada. And so we're gonna go do that on Saturday. I don't remember if there's anything on Sunday, but I spent a lot of money. I bought like fucking 3 or 4 suits recently and a bunch of other shit. So now I have to go make a lot of money to make up for spending. And then as more shit comes out, there's going to be more traveling. So it's just going to be a mix of grinding this Uber and the fucking food sales and trying to make everything move forward. And if all goes well, get a proper mix of the Bonjour-Hi song done and get the cover art shot, because now I need to get the other 3 guys on the song together, because it looks like we're gonna get Basics on the song. He broke his collarbone or something, and so he said he'd be on it, disappeared, showed up 2.5 weeks later with a verse in my inbox. My man JS will be on it, and then the homie Witness is gonna do a French verse for us because it feels like it should have a French verse on the song. And then I have to go argue with Quebecers on Facebook about language rights and just go be an English person and be like, fuck your language laws, and let them come at me with all the tenacity of how you approach battle rap. But if I do that and then start throwing the link in, poof, we could get some local virality going on. All I want is for the mayor of Montreal to comment on this song when it comes out. But I think it's doable. I think it's maybe not comment, but I want to know she heard it, and that would make me very happy. And then otherwise, try to get organized, because after a week like last week, I find like you forget about all the regular shit, like going to the grocery store and all those things that you're supposed to do, because I don't think I ate food at home the last 6 days. It's just been out every night, so gotta actually be home again and get ready for that and all that good shit. Spend time with Bonnie, because Bonnie's not always around on the adventures.
Word.
Yeah, that'll be a good week, and I don't know, maybe other stuff will pop up. I'm sure there's other shows and shit happening I'm gonna pull up to or get invited to that I just haven't thought about yet. And yeah, that's kind of the week, I think. So on that note, we appreciate everybody being here with us today. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, you can definitely follow, like, and subscribe the channel if you're watching on YouTube. If not, we are on YouTube. You should go there and subscribe if you are watching this live. And for the people watching on YouTube, we do this Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over at twitch.tv/BehindThatSuit. It would be cool to pull up and come join us in the conversations. And yeah, I'm just getting the raid open, trying to find somebody to jump into. And once we get that going, we will be on our way, everyone. I know it was a little bit of a smaller episode, but yo, there's no rules in this. It's just how it goes sometimes, especially when you got things to do. But we thank you for being with us, and live long and prosper, everyone out there.